How long does it take to get page one of Google? Hey, I'm Sam Dunning, co-owner over at webchoiceuk.com and host of the Top 100 Marketing Podcast Business Growth Show. If you haven't yet, sign up to our weekly email where you'll get actionable marketing tips, useful podcasts, free guides, bonus resources, and much, much more every Monday to start your week off with a bang. Sign up over at businessgrowth.email. So SEO, search engine optimization, the process of getting your website to that all-important page one top spot in Google's organic non-page search results. So when someone searches for a service or a product, you appear right at the top, so they click through to your website, all to increase your website traffic, brand visibility, and your leads and your sales revenue. So how long does it really take? Well, the short answer is it depends. That's probably not what you want to hear, but it really depends on the business you're in, the competitiveness of your industry, and many other factors. So let's say, for example, you serve a really small niche industry. Perhaps you run a bike store, for example, and perhaps you just serve a local town or city. So let's say, for example, we are in a small town called Yeovil in the UK. So let's say you wanted to rank for bike store Yeovil. Chances are there's probably not that many competitors, because I know for a fact there's only one or two bike stores in the whole town. So it's not going to be that difficult to actually get your site ranking on page one, because there's not a whole ton of competition. It's quite a niche offering. So to be fair, all you probably need to do is some decent keyword research, identify using tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, Ubersuggest, Google Keyword Planner, what people are actually searching for those services. So whether that is like Yeovil bike store or best bike shop in Yeovil, identify what those buying search terms are, understand the ones you want to target, and then make sure your website addresses that. So doing things like adding a key information page on your website for each of the main bike services you have, having a location detail page for all the towns or cities that you serve, and then making sure those website pages are really informative. They cover the key points people want to know. Perhaps they've got videos, podcasts, infographics. They answer key questions people may have with FAQs. They overcome objections and then guide people to get in touch. And as well as that, making sure your website has a mobile friendly or mobile first design, making sure it has a smooth user experience with solid navigation, and making sure your metadata is sorted. So things like your meta title and description that shows in the Google organic listings when people do a search, making sure your page titles, heading tags are all up to scratch. And doing all that content work is probably almost going to be enough if you're in a very, very niche, not competitive industry to actually get your website ranking. So it could just take a few weeks or even a couple months if you are in a small, niche, not very competitive industry. Or on the flip side, if you do serve a competitive industry and perhaps you're looking to rank nationally or even in several different countries, and perhaps you've got a lot of competition, you could be talking several months, even a year or longer to get ranking. So for example, let's say you run a software as a service business. Maybe you run a spend management solution that helps companies manage their finances to pay their staff, perhaps to pay suppliers, vendors, and much, much more. So you want to rank for really competitive terms like spend management CRM or spend management software, or how to reduce your spend management fees, those kind of things. So just doing the above things that I talked about for small niches isn't going to work. Yes, you need to do that. So you need to do your keyword research. You need to get your website technically sound in terms of your metadata, structure, UX, user experience, your mobile design, your navigation, and get all your content in shape, and make sure your website is a useful resource. But you're also going to need to do offsite SEO. So you need to do things like publish regular articles and press releases on industry relevant sites. So you can really boost up your domain authority because you're putting really helpful articles. You're building backlinks from these articles. You're sending signals to Google that you've got an authoritative site that's linking back to you. You're building up your own link juice, building up your domain authority. So over time, you're pushing up your organic rankings for when people search for these search terms that you want to be found for. Is this quick? No, but if you follow best practices we've talked about in terms of on-site work and in terms of off-site work, creating regular pieces of really informative content, getting them published on industry relevant sites, building up quality backlinks for the search terms you want to be found for, measuring results, keeping up to date with the Google algorithm and trends, and making sure you follow best practices and you are aggressive in your content creation, distribution, and backlink strategy, that can really help put you in a good position to start ranking for competitive search terms in competitive industries. So you've got to think about not just making your website great, but making it the go-to resource for your sector. So if someone thinks a certain question or industry, they think, yeah, this site's the one I want to go to. So you're really providing them educational material across perhaps blog articles, across guides, across infographics, podcasts, videos, much, much more. You're getting your site on site, very, very solid, and you're doing all those things I've talked about in terms of offsite SEO, distributing content, building backlinks, and over time, getting your organic rankings up there. So in 6 months, a year's time, depending on how competitive it is, you can enjoy the long-term benefits of SEO, ramping up your traffic, brand visibility and credibility, your inbound leads, and your inbound sales revenue. And there you go. I hope this short and snappy summary has given you an insight as to how long it can take your website to get ranking page 1 in Google's organic search results. As I say, it really does depend and vary depending on the sector you are, the locations or search terms you're targeting, and how competitive your industry is. Making sure you do that solid research up front, positioning your website as a really useful resource, and then being proactive on content creation, building quality links is really going to help you. And then also reporting and planning for the future is really crucial to get your strategy right. As always, if you enjoyed today's episode, a quick subscribe on YouTube or a rating on the audio podcast channels would be much appreciated. And with that, I look forward to catching you on the next one. Cheers.